quite an unusual injury. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. It's quite remarkable to think how another cat's nail
He must have just hooked it under the third eyelid and then pulled
that.
Paco is my great companion. He's a very sweet cat that has really made my life very rich.
Oh my. Hey, Andrew.
Hey.
Hi, Paco.
Today, the girls are about to check a feisty cat that's been in the wars.
Last night we got an email from Paco's owner and it was a picture of Paco with lots of blood coming out his eye. So we were pretty shocked, keen to see him today and check it out. Oh, that eye looks sore. Come on in.
Owner Andrew is anxious about his special mate.
Paco is my great companion. He's a very sweet cat that has really made my life very rich.
So do you know how it happened?
Yeah, I was moving house and there was a new cat that was in the area who was like twice his size, and I thought, ooh, that's not gonna be good if they actually meet up. But anyways, when I came back to pick him up, his eye and his ego were both very, very hurt.
Poor Paco. So Paco's one of our regular patients, and he's a loved patient, but he has got a quirky personality. He hates vets. Unfortunately, that means he hates both of us too.
When he was little, he by accident swallowed an elastic of my daughter's.
Oh, wow.
It got stuck in his intestines, and so then he also had to have intestine surgery. Ever since then, you know, even though, I mean, everybody was nice to him and everything like that, his view is like, oh, this is the place that cut you open. Like,
Poor Paco.
he'll be okay.
We'll look after him. Scared. That's not a good sign.
With a potentially painful eye injury, Paco is even grumpier than usual.
So I think probably the blood's come from him rubbing or scratching, but I'm very worried about the actual eye itself. The worst thing that could happen is that there's a massive ulcer or a big deep scratch under that third eyelid, which would make us a bit concerned because the eye could rupture.
I just hope there's nothing that they find actually more serious where he might have to lose the eye, but yeah, we'll just have to see.
Okay, so this is fluorescein dye. So we're basically just going to pop that inside the eye.
The dye will show up any ulcers or scratches.
Bright yellow colour. So let's see how we're going to get this in the eye.
Alison will have to aim from outside the box. Paco is far too agitated to try to get any closer.
Oh! I got it.
Oh my
How did you
goodness,
get it in
wow.
there? She got it in the eye. That's pretty good for you because you really have bad aim.
I have really bad ball skills, but obviously fluorescein skills.
And we can just see there, even with that third eyelid halfway across the eye, that there's actually a pinpoint ulcer right in the middle. But what I'm concerned about is whether there's actually more injuries in the eye besides that little pinpoint ulcer. So I think we're probably going to have to bring him to hospital and give him a sedation or general anaesthetic just so we can really open up the eye, pull the third eyelid back. Obviously, if he's scratched his cornea, that's more serious. Poor Paco. Here we go, Paco. Here is Paco.
Audrey and Alison have arrived at the hospital with Paco.
We can see an ulcer in the middle of the eye, but we're actually worried there are other ulcers underneath the third eyelid. So often with ulcers, they can actually rupture the eyeball, and that's because it's a weak point that can burst. So we're gonna have to give him some sedation and have a look at that eye properly. Defense mechanisms we brought today, garden gloves for each of us, big fat towel. Right, gowned up, ready to go.
Ready to go.
So I'm gonna open. Go, 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 go. That's good.
Despite his reputation, Paco barely puts up a fight.
So at the moment, we're giving Paco some oxygen and we've added in a bit of isoflurane, which is an anaesthetic gas. It's just gonna make him quite sleepy so that we can eventually get him sedated to have a look at that eye. Wow, that was a bit easier than we thought. He's still growling at us. He's a bit better, he's growling less. All right, so we're gonna move the carrier.
With Paco finally settled, the girls can now get their first close-up look at his injured eye.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that conjunctiva is really red.
So you can just see that lower conjunctiva.
So I'm just going to give the eye a very good flush.
So there's quite a few things bulging out of the eye at the moment because it's so inflamed. This is the third eyelid.
So the third eyelid is like the windscreen wipers of the eye, and it helps actually clean the surface, get it lubricated with some tears. Oh, look at all that pus.
There's a lot of perspective. He's actually got a hole in his third eyelid underneath, look.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, how did you do that?
He's ripped the whole underside of his third eyelid. We pull back the third eyelid and we can actually see almost like a hole at the back of it, like a big deep scratch. So I think that's where the bleeding's coming from.
Quite an unusual injury. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. It's quite remarkable to think how another cat's nail
He must have just hooked it under the third eyelid and then pulled.
torn back.
If that nail had gotten anywhere else, so if it had actually hooked into his cornea and pulled through, he could have ruptured his eyeball and potentially have lost that eye. So in a way, it's like it caught on the third eyelid and just damaged the underside of that. All right, we'll just turn off the lights. You hold that.
So we're just going to check again with some fluorescein stain and make sure there's not any more ulcers there.
The actual eye itself only has that pinpoint ulcer, which should heal well as long as he doesn't rub or scratch his eye.
Let's come around this side, have a look under that third eyelid flap. I think there's something there.
It's so swollen back here. Look at that. What is that?
Oh my goodness.
I'm just going to pull it out. Oh my. This stick is massive. It turns out it's a 5 centimeter stick that's entered between the eyeball and his third eyelid. That is insane. It's probably one of the weirdest foreign body positions I've ever seen. Poor Paco, no wonder he was so grumpy. If we have a look behind, it's quite swollen, but the entry point's actually avoided his gland behind there, and it's actually avoided his third eye cartilage. So I think that's going to close up quite well. We'll have to monitor it, make sure it heals well, but I'm pretty confident it should seal over and look really good again.
Send Paco home with some eye drops.
Yeah. So it's a bit more comfortable because we've been fiddling around there. So as long as he leaves it alone, he takes the drops in his eyes and Andrew manages to medicate him, he should heal really well. But 3 days' time, we'll come back and check on that.
It's definitely Paco's lucky day. As soon as he's fully awake, he can go home to his relieved owner.
Okay, let's get you home. Hey, Andrew. Hi, Paco.
It's been 2 weeks since Paco was involved in a cat fight and somehow ended up with a 5 centimetre stick embedded at the back of his eye.
Literally, once that was removed, it was amazing how much he changed.
Fingers crossed, no more fights and no more sticks.
Yeah.
Stay away from trouble, Paco.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen now to continue watching more great content.